Now, armed with my shot breakdown, my storyboards, and my sound effects, I go into an editing program. You can use whatever editing program you like. Some people use Premiere, some people use Final Cut Pro. I use After Effects. The reason I use After Effects is I think there are some advantages for doing animatics in After Effects over the other ones. The first being that it can bring in a sequence of Photoshop files and automatically list them out as you see here on the timeline. So an animatic just means storyboards brought to life with an audio track underneath and timed to fit the dialogue and any action that's going on. And they can be as detailed or as simple as required by the project. So I bring in all the storyboards, matching their shot number into a sequence that makes sense to me. So here I have them going kind of down in this order and kind of roughed in at about 3 seconds per, okay? Sometimes they'll need to be longer, sometimes they'll need to be shorter based off of the dialogue that goes underneath. But if you bring them in at 3 seconds each, you got a good basis to start from. Almost all scenes are less than 5 seconds, shot to shot. And then underneath this sequence, I start dragging in the various sound effects. The spaceship rumble, I've got some feet running on pavement, I've got their various dialogue tracks all laid in underneath. And then I shorten or lengthen the visual aspect to match the underlying audio aspect. And it's really easy just to push these around on the timeline until you get the vibe that you're looking for. Once again, this sequence can be put together in any video editor, but I like After Effects because I usually do add some effects along the way to my storyboards. Sometimes it'll be a zoom or a push, different things that you can do in After Effects quickly and easily to a clip. And that's why I like After Effects. But like I said, you could do this in Premiere just as easy, or even Windows Movie Maker. So I really just play around with it until I get everything to kind of line up right and go at a flowing, natural pace. Then I render the sequence out so we can view it in real time.
Should be right around here.
I see mine.
That girl's gonna get herself hurt doing that. So you can see it works pretty well. It's not gonna win any sound design awards, but it really tells the story of what's happening according to the script, the shot breakdown, and the storyboards. The coolest part about creating an animatic is that it will grow with your production over time. You're going to be creating assets, the 3D models, that will ultimately replace these illustrations you've done for your storyboards, right? Well, your animatic then becomes kind of like a living document. As things get finished, you can replace them or add them to the timeline as well, so that you can start seeing at a glance what still needs to be done, what has been done, and kind of the overall vibe. It really shows you where your project's at almost any time if you keep it updated. Since all these assets need to be completed in order to get into actual animation production, it's pretty easy to access them at whatever point they are, complete or incomplete, and add them to your storyboards here on the animatic. Let me give you an example. yourself hurt doing that. Probably the biggest advantage of doing the animatic is that you break down each shot into approximately how long it'll take. So you're roughing in how long in frames your Maya scene file should be, okay? Or in something like this, where she jumps off the back of the hovercraft, your motion capture is going to need to occur. It's these kind of breakdowns of numbers that are crucial when you're beginning your production on your animation. You know that's going to be 60 frames. You know it's going to be 120 frames, right? You start with something saying what's the beginning and end of that particular shot. As time goes along, you'll even have finished animation that you can replace in your animatic. So it really kind of follows the entire production from storyboard all the way to the finished shot. So in this updated animatic, what we're looking at is very early, rough versions of the unfinished characters, but finished enough that they can be rendered out and lit a little bit and put into their basic poses. Pretty simple, but really brings it much more to life than the plain storyboards. This is an actual phase of pre-production called blocking, which we'll get to in the next module. So working with animatics or pre-visualization is a great way to get everybody on the team on the same page, and they can really see where everything's at a glance. All right, that's pretty much it for Module 1. Like I said, in Module 2, we'll be going further with the character preparation and begin the blocking. Thanks for watching.